Hey everybody, and welcome to FPS GGG, Guns, Games, and Guitars. I'm Andrew, and today I'm going to teach you how to play Breathe by Pink Floyd, the first song off Dark Side of the Moon. So, to start off, if you don't know the song, because this is not one of the most well-known songs on the album, it's also the end of Time, which goes... So to play that, start by making an E minor chord, which is just the 2nd fret on the 5th and 4th string. But you're going to strum, first what you're going to do is hit open 6. And then you're going to strum the chord backwards. Or this is a technique known as syncopation, where you specifically hit certain chords strumming up instead of down, but there is a big difference in sound, as opposed to, so it's going to sound like, now when you're jumping over to the next chord, it's going to be a variation of the A chord, but this is going to be done by putting your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, middle finger, or you can do this with whatever fingers you want, really, but it's going to be the 2nd fret on the 2nd string, 2nd fret on the 4th string, and you're going to let your G ring open. And that last part is you're going to bring your pinky down on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. So now, really, now you're not playing the 2nd fret on this string, you're just playing. So... I'm back to E minor. And this is a good song, as you see I just did, to do a little bit of arpeggiating. When you have your E minor, as you're waiting to jump up to your A, you can just, which sounds a little bit neater than just strumming it a couple times while you wait. You don't have to arpeggiate every time, but if you throw it in once in a while, it sounds really nice. And David Gilmour, the guitarist from Pink Floyd, has a habit of playing it a different way each and every time he plays it live, so there's really no wrong way to do it as long as you're hitting the right notes in the process. So now, we're going to put that together, and then I'll move on to the chorus, which is where it's going to get complicated, and I'm going to have to teach you a bunch of new chords. Actually, I forgot a part. After you've done this a couple times, this is where you'd add a little extra something. And again, like I said about David Gilmour, there's really no wrong way to do this as long as it fits within the scale. What I typically do is bring this chord shape that you've got here, your 2 and 2, slide it up to 5. It should sound like that if you play it down. So what that is keeping the same chord shape, 2, 3, 4, your fingers down, so now you have your index finger. You're just going to slide down quickly, slide your middle finger down to the 4th fret of the 4th string, and then place your index finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and strum down again. And it takes some practice, but I think that sounds really nice. There's a lot of other things you can do, especially if you move further up the neck. I like to keep it around here because you have to, especially if you do the flares as often as they does in the real song, you have to make a pretty difficult jump back to the top of the neck. So I like to keep it kind of close if I can. So now we're going to move on to the chorus after you hear the whole thing put together. So. And now moving on to the chorus, this is a new chord shape. Not complicated, but you need to know it. So this is 6th string, 3rd fret, 5th string, 3rd fret, 4th string, 2nd fret. And it sounds fantastic. Now you're going to move on to a B minor. For a B minor, this is very important. This is a B major. Put your middle finger down to make the B minor. So how you actually make this chord is you take your index finger and you bar across the 2nd fret up to the 5th string. You don't need the 6th string for this chord. You take your ring finger, put it on the 4th fret of the 4th string, take your pinky, get it in under there, 4th fret of the 3rd string, and finally take your middle finger, 3rd fret of the 2nd string. That's how you distinguish it minor. If you remove the middle finger and you play this open, major. Put down the middle finger, minor. That's important. So you go from now you're going to move to another chord, and this is going to be the only chord in the song you have to slide, but it's a weird chord shape, so the best way to get used to making weird chord shapes is to not necessarily keep playing the song over and over, but to just jump from chord to chord, jump around and take it slow and let it get faster and faster, just like working with a melody you've never done before. Now you're going to move to this chord. This is ring finger, 3rd fret, 5th string, pinky, 3rd fret, 4th string, sorry, middle finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string, and finally pointer, 1st fret, 2nd string. And this is the easiest transition of the chorus, is just you take this entire shape. You don't change anything about the way your hand is, but you're going to slide the whole thing up 2 frets. So where these 2 fingers are, they should land on the 5th fret. Where this one is, lands on 4. This one lands on 3. And now the really weird part. This is going to sound terrible by itself, but when you put the whole thing together, it's going to sound fantastic. Take these 2 fingers first. You're going to do middle finger, 5th string, 5th fret. Ring finger, 5th fret of the 3rd string. Now take your index finger, 4th fret, 4th string. And finally your pinky, 6th fret, 2nd string. You hear that horrible noise? That's what it's supposed to sound like, don't worry. And now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to remove the pinky, and you're going to flatten your index finger to turn this into a bar chord. Also terrible. And then you're going to go back to your E minor. So now I'm going to play the chorus so you can hear exactly what it's supposed to sound like. And that's the entire song, Breathe, by Pink Floyd. There's a part at the beginning that sounds like it's on a guitar. It technically is. It's on an instrument called a steel slide, which is a guitar. It's actually made by Fender, the one that David Gilmour typically uses, but it looks not too different from this, except it lays flat, and you slide your finger around with a piece of steel on your finger. It makes really smooth sounds, but it sounds like a guitar. It's really not. You can't play it on a typical guitar. It's just not possible because of these motherfuckers. That's what it sounds like when you slide on a guitar. There's a slight echo. Brian's making ridiculous motions. Well, now I'm gonna play the entire song so you get a feel for the transition between the verse and chorus and vice versa. So, enjoy. And it's going to do that whole thing twice, and I did kind of fuck up the B minor, because I always do. But that's how you play the song Breathe by Pink Floyd. Yeah!